Mr. Conine is here today after failing to appear before referee Snyder on March 18th, 2024. Bond is currently set at $3,788. This is the fifth bench warrant. He reports no employment. Last payment made on this account was in October of 2023. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set in this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 22nd, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. before this court.
Thank you. Mr. Conine, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your tenants at the next hearing on May 22nd, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll reduce your bond in hopes that you would be able to be released. I'm gonna set your bond in the amount of $1,000. If you're able to post that, you'd be able to be released.
No
Okay.
worries.
Okay.
Y'all can feed me. I'm good. I ain't paying no more. I don't contract with y'all.
Okay, you're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Did you catch that, Your Honor? That middle finger?
No, I didn't.
Yep, he just flipped you off.
Ah. He was probably just waving by, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Was probably writing at the time. Well, we'll have him back on the 22nd. We'll see if he acts differently that day.
Yeah, let's hope so. Ms. Rue is here today after failing to appear before referee Coleman on March 8th, 2024. Bond is currently set at $500. This is the third bench warrant. She reports no employment. The last payment made on this account was in September of 2023. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set in this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 22nd, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. before this court.
Ms. Rue, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your tenants at the next hearing on May 22nd, 2024 at 8:00 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, ma'am?
No, not currently right now. I haven't been working. I've been going through a lot of mental stuff. I've been looking at going to rehab, so I've been trying to do a lot, really.
Okay. Well, I'm going to reduce your bond in hopes that you could be released pending the hearing. I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $300. If you're able to post that, you'd be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. You're free to go.
Nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
I do.
And ma'am, do you have the script that we sent you?
I do.
You can go through that at this point. You don't have to state what your address is, however.
Okay. My name is Amber Segal, and I am the plaintiff in this case. I married the defendant on May 28, 2010 at Anniston, Alabama. I filed a complaint for divorce on November 15, 2023. I lived in Michigan for 180 days and in Calhoun County for 10 days immediately prior to filing this complaint. When I filed my complaint for divorce, all of the statements were true. All the statements in my complaint for divorce are still true today. There has been a breakdown of marriage relationships such that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there remains no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved. I do not believe there is any possibility of reconciliation. I am not currently pregnant. The defendant and I have 4 minor children together. I have read all of the terms of the proposed judgment of divorce, and I agree with them. I would like the court to change my surname to Ives. I ask this court grant an absolute judgment of divorce. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm looking at the judgment, and it says that you want your name changed to Amber Ives. If I do that and you have a middle name, you will not have a middle name anymore.
Okay, I do have a middle name.
Okay, do you want to keep the middle name?
Yes.
And what is it?
Elizabeth, Elizabeth.
Okay. Okay, I will change the judgment to correct that. Get that signed. Court will find that the testimony does establish the statutory basis. There has been a showing there's been a breakdown of the marital relationship. And as a result, the court will enter the proposed judgment as submitted in this matter. The court does have front of the court approval. Everything is in order. And as a result, I will sign that. Ms. Ives, you are now divorced, and best of luck to you. I hope everything works out for you, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You
Good
too.
morning to both of you. This is the time and place set for the settlement conference in this matter, excuse me, scheduling conference, whereby the court puts in place various dates as well as processes so the case will proceed in an orderly fashion. I'll first ask Ms. Sago. Ms. Sago, oh, wrong case. Sorry, that was the last case. I'm still on that paperwork. Ms. Tidwell, are you in this matter? You can let me know. Is there a dispute in this particular case? Are you fighting about something?
We're not really fighting about anything. No, it's more of when it comes to our child, I have always done it alone. Even after the split between me and John, I've still done it alone. I was never asked for help with our child.
Okay. Well, aside from that, I don't need the particular details. I just know, is there in fact a custody support or parenting time dispute then?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Nichols is shaking his head yes. So, Mr. Nichols, is that correct? You're disputing custody?
Yes, Your Honor. I have got record. I've tried to reach out multiple times to see
Okay.
him.
I don't need to know all that. I just need to know if in fact there is a dispute. So
yes.
the court will put down that there is a dispute, because if there's a dispute, then it sends it into a different track. Have any of you attempted, or are you looking at potentially, do you need any discovery? Discovery is the process whereby you acquire information from the other side. Could be on a myriad of things. I have no idea in your case what you might be seeking discovery of, but if you have desire any discovery, then you have a right to, again, have that in this particular case. What the court will do is I will put a July 1 discovery date. What means is if you need any information from the other side, you have to do that prior to July 1, okay?
Okay.
And you can do that through interrogatories, which are questions that need to be signed under oath. You can do it through requests for production of documents. You can do it through depositions or any other myriad of things that are entailed in discovery, but you have to do it before that date. The court will set the matter for mediation during the month of July. I'll ask Ms. Sago, I'm sorry, I keep going back to the other case for some reason. Ms. Tidwell, have you anybody you'd recommend as the mediator? That would be an attorney mediator that would sit down with the two of you and attempt to resolve the case.
No, I do not.
Okay. Mr. Nichols, do you have anyone?
Nope.
Okay. The court will leave that blank, and then the mediation clerk will assign a mediator from the mediation list, and you'll be contacted probably within about a week or so from the mediator, trying to set that up and telling you what the mediator does. There is a charge for mediation, as the person obviously has to be paid for their time. So court will set August 5th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. as the settlement conference date, which would be the final hearing if we're not able to get resolution of the case. I guess I'll ask you, Ms. Tidwell, is there anything else that you have in this matter, or have any questions at this point?
So I have a folder full of proof of messages and proof of why a person believes John Nichols should not have full custody at all towards our child. When exactly is a good time for me to bring that into the courthouse?
Well, what happens is under the case scheduling order, there's a paragraph in there that talks about disclosure of exhibits and disclosure of witnesses. And so you have deadlines, and it talks about within so many days after the first mediation date that those have to be done. You can do them before at any time. So I would recommend if you have documents that you would in fact prepare those and submit those as soon as possible so you don't miss a deadline. 'Cause
Okay.
If you miss a deadline, you won't be able to bring them in. Okay?
Okay.
So do them anytime. You have to identify what they are. Hey, by, if you have, let's say, for instance, you had a tax return, you would basically disclose that as, let's say, 2023 tax return, consisting of 32 pages, and you're going to have to submit those in paper form. Okay, so you'd have to have your, I guess you'd say you have to have your identification of those items as to what they are. You have to provide those to the other side, so you have to provide those to defendant as well as to the court in paper form. So
Okay.
you can't just identify them as the 2023 tax return. You have to attach them to the document, have them attached. Let's say it was by that time that was your proposed exhibit 10. You'd have them marked as proposed exhibit 10 or whatever it might be. So, but make sure you pay attention to all of the dates under the case scheduling order so that you don't miss any of those. Anything
Okay.
else, Ms. Tidwell?
No.
Okay, Mr. Nichols, anything you have?
Is there a way I can, until the settlement, is there a way I can go about seeing my kid? Because right now I currently do not.
You're gonna have to file a motion, okay? The
Okay.
motion is a request to the court. You can schedule that on any Monday with at least 9 days' notice, and you can schedule that for 10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Any Monday, when you give at least 9 days' notice, okay?
Okay.
And having said that, I'll have to correct that because the next Monday that you would do it, you wouldn't be able to, because in fact, it's, the 27th is Memorial Day and we're not here on Memorial Day. The courts are closed, but we're scheduling those on the Tuesday, then the 28th. So you can set them on the 28th or any Monday in June if you wanted.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you both. We'll send this out. You should get it yet this week and comply with that, and then pay attention when the mediator contacts you and set up that mediation. Then you can go and see if you can't get resolution. Okay. Okay, you're free to go. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. You
I'm
too.
gonna get you your next person here. That is Mr. Ullman. One moment.
Wait, who is it?
Ronald Ullman. He did.
Can you back me out of that, please?
Oh,
You don't understand what she was asked.
it sounds like she cannot represent him.
Don't know.
Oh, that's a new one.
Why don't we get her back in and find out what she really meant?
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, so I have a PPO on him, like, and I'm not gonna be able to represent him.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Okay, what we'll do is whoever that is, we'll have to reschedule it.
All right.
She can't do it, so.
So I think with that, you have met with,
Yeah, I got the PPO order. I'm not sure if he was ever served. He was released from jail prior to them being able to serve him. I'm not sure if he was ever served, but I do have an order. For
That's
PPO.
fine. We'll move it out a couple weeks and, 3 weeks actually, and get him in for the next time we have an attorney.
Wasn't expecting that, so.
Yeah, well,
all right, I'll have to let Eric know about this. But I think with that, you've met with everybody. I have not seen Mr. Davis at all, Emily, so I think that's a no-go for him.
Okay, yeah, I was planning to put that on the record with you.
Mr. Diekema, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will advise you in this matter. The court has appointed Ms. Huffman to represent you. Have you had sufficient time to speak to Ms. Huffman in preparation for this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Huffman, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
Okay,
Mr. Diekema's total monthly obligation is $150. This comes from $116 for current support, $30.50 ordered towards arrears, and $3.50 for service and processing fees. The last voluntary payment received on this docket was $67.01 on September 9th, 2017 through income withholding. Friend of the court does want your honor to be aware that we have collected 3 bond payments from Mr. Diekema between 2018 and 2019 totaling $1,900. This is his 5th show cause. He's had 5 bench warrants and 1 contempt finding. Monitoring compliance for the last 6 months at a rate of $150 per month means he should have paid $900 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are $12,973.50 as of April 30th. He does have the ability to work and pay his obligation. He did state to me that he works odd jobs for money. His previous contempt finding resulted in a 21-day jail sentence in 2018. Calhoun County Sheriff's Office is also requesting $97.86 in transportation costs associated to this bench warrant. And Mr. Diekema was booked into Calhoun County Jail on April 30th and has credit for 16 days served.
okay. Ms. Huffman, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Toth?
I just have I don't, but I just have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you state that the current monthly how much did you say the current obligation is?
$150 per month.
And you broke it down, was it 91 and then $30.50 for arrearages, $25 for monthly confinement and $350 for, okay. I just wanted to verify that. Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, any proofs, Ms. Huffman?
Yeah, I would call my client, Mr. Diekema.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Diekema, are you currently working at this time?
No, ma'am.
When is the last time that you did work?
It's been some years now.
I didn't hear, sir, what? Speak up, please.
It's probably been a couple of years now, at least been a few years now.
Okay, do you know when the last time is that you were making regular payments or have you ever made regular payments on your support?
I was working at Decatur Wood Products.
At Decatur Wood Products?
Yeah.
And do you know when that was?
I know, no, I'm sorry. That was, I made it at, the Pace, or Look Trailers. I think was the last time I made regular payments.
Okay, do you know when that was?
I'm not sure the year.
Okay, so is that the last job that you held?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do you know how much you were making at that job?
I think $13 an hour, $14 an hour, maybe more.
Okay. Have you filed any motions to try to get your child support lowered due to your not working?
No.
Do you intend to do that?
Yes.
Do you know, I guess, what is the reason that you have not been working lately?
I have a mental disability. I need help.
Okay.
Sir, please speak up because I can't hear you very well.
I have a mental disability. I need help.
Do you have a diagnosis?
I don't yet, no.
Okay. Have you been seeing anyone for help lately?
No, that's why I turned myself in to get help.
Okay. Are you at a point in your life where you're looking to take care of your medical, mental issues that you may have and your legal issues?
They told me I can get my job back once I got this warrant lifted off of me, so I can try to get my job back, and then I can go and see if I can't get some kind of mental help after I'm working with insurance or something.
So, have you applied for jobs recently?
Well, I talked to my old boss, yeah, and I think I can get my old job back. It's a job that I have had for like 3 years.
Okay, is that the Decatur Wood Products?
Yes.
Do you know how much you were making there?
$9 an hour.
Okay, is it your intent to go assuming, I mean, once you get this bench warrant taken care of, or you no longer, now that you would no longer have a bench warrant, you believe you'd be able to get a job?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so do
try
you
it.
know
I'm
how
gonna-
long
I'm
you've
gonna
had a bench? Do you know how long you've had a bench warrant?
I think I've had a warrant out for my arrest for like the past 7 years.
Okay,
They let me out of jail with a warrant out for my arrest every time. This would be the first time I think in like 7 years that I don't have a warrant out for my arrest.
okay. And that's been, has that made it difficult for you to find a job as well?
Yeah,
Okay. So back to my question, are you ready now at this time to get a job and to take care of whatever medical issues you may have?
yes,
Okay, and is that why you turned yourself in?
yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like the court to know at this time?
No.
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sir, if you're able to go back to your old job, why haven't you done so previously?
So I got warrants out for my arrest.
And that's prohibited you in some way?
Yeah, because they'll just come and arrest you and then you won't have your job.
Okay. What's your education background, sir?
I almost have my GED. I'm like one test away from my GED.
You said you've been working odd jobs, is that correct?
Yeah, and I mean just little things just to pretty much eat and stuff like that.
Okay, how much have you made on an average month doing odd jobs?
And I don't know, I wouldn't be a set thing. I would just like 50, 60 bucks here and there just to get me by, like food and stuff like that.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, court will make the following findings in this case that the respondent has a nominal support obligation of $150. That includes the arrearage, yet he owes almost $13,000 in arrears in this particular case, that he has worked odd jobs, making, as he said, sometimes $50, $60 a month. In this case, that his last work was, as he said, a couple of years ago. He was making $13 to $14 per hour then, and that obviously somehow has been hindered or whatever as a result of the fact that he's had bench warrants on him. In this matter, court will note that again, he said bench warrant because he's not appeared at various hearings in this particular case. So that's kind of a self-inflicted wound that he has in this matter. He does have a job that he could go back to if, again, those are cleared up, and that he almost has his GED in this matter, but the court will find that he's not exercised a good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed or refused to comply, and he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Ms. Huffman?
I would just state that he's currently been in custody. It's my understanding about 15 to 16 days. I would request the court consider releasing him at this time so that he can go back to work at that job. He's in the mindset, I believe, right now to address this legal issue as well as his own mental and medical health issues. And having turned himself in, I think that shows the court after all of these years that now he is ready to make those steps. So I'm just gonna ask the court to consider giving him that opportunity to be able to do the things that the reason he turned himself in is so that he can improve things in his life.
Okay.
And I would ask the court to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Diekema, in this matter, the court will pronounce the following sentence. I'll let you know I could sentence you up to 90 days in jail as a result of a prior contempt action. I'm not going to. What I will do is I'm going to, again, sentence you to 30 days in jail with credit for 16 days served. Court will put a purge amount of $1,000. Then you would not have to serve the remaining time. The court would also order that you would reimburse the sheriff transportation cost of $97.86. That will be the order of the court. You're free to go. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. We're ready for you.
Okay. Mr. Bartlett, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Court has appointed Ms. Huffman to represent you in this matter. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Ms. Huffman in preparation for this hearing?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, Your Honor, before the court is Jordan Bartlett. He is here on two matters, docket 2006, Brandon versus Bartlett, and docket 2016, Pendergraph versus Bartlett. And he is before the court for a bench warrant hearing because he failed to appear before referee Croteau for an adjourned show cause hearing on September 20th of 2018. On the 2006 docket, this is an arrears only docket. Mr. Bartlett is ordered to pay $53 per month on his arrears, $3.50 for service and processing fees, for a total monthly obligation of $56.50. Last payment received on this docket was on April 17th, 2024, in the amount of $150, which was the payment to recall the bench warrant. Last payment prior to that was on December 9th, 2022, in the amount of $34.66. This is Mr. Bartlett's ninth show cause, his first bench warrant, and he's had two previous findings of contempt. I measure compliance over the last 6 months. Mr. Bartlett should have paid $339. There was a $150 lump sum payment for a total of due of $489. He paid $150, leaving him a shortfall of $339. Total arrears on this docket are $4,038.03 through April 30th, 2024. On the 2016 docket, Mr. Bartlett is currently ordered to pay $461 per month for current support, $35.50 on his arrears, for a total of $500 per month to include service and processing fees. Last payment received on this docket was on April 17th, 2024, in the amount of $600, which was the payment to recall the bench warrant. Last payment prior was December 9th, 2022, in the amount of $91.80. This is Mr. Bartlett's third show cause. He's his first bench warrant. He's had no previous findings of contempt. I measure compliance over the last 6 months. Mr. Bartlett should have paid $3,000. There was a $600 for the bench warrant recall payment for a total due of $3,600. He paid $600, which left him a shortfall of $3,000. Total arrears on this docket are $39,851.72 through April 30th of 2024.
Okay. Ms. Huffman, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Mouton?
I do not.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Mouton?
I think I just need to clear something up for myself. Ma'am, when you add, so the $3,000 for the 600 or the 6 month compliance, so 6 times 500 is the 3,000, and then you do the lump sum for $600. Why is that added? And then is it the same amount that's subtracted?
It is. That's the only payment that he made. It was an agreement with the bench warrant department that he would come in and make a $600 lump sum payment to pay the bench warrant off or to have it recalled. And so that's the only payment that we've received. So we added on because he was ordered to make it, and then we take it off because he paid it.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's I have no further questions for her.
Okay. Any proofs, Ms. Huffman?
Yes, I would call my Mr. Bartlett.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Bartlett, are you currently working?
I contingent on this meeting today. I do have a job lined up to start, yes.
Okay, so when you say it depends on what happens today, what do you mean?
I have a position that's available that I've been offered, but I need my driver's license reinstated in order to get this position.
Okay, so is your driver's license suspended at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it suspended due to non-payment of support?
I do believe so. Yes, ma'am.
So you would be asking the court to lift that suspension?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. When is your last job?
It would have been Buffalo Wild Wings, which would have been when my child support was being taken out of my checks.
And you were paying regular child support at that time?
Yes,
Was the monthly obligation of $461 based on that job?
it was, yes. As far as I believe, yes, they just came directly out of my check. So as far as I knew, my support obligations every month for both children, both cases, was being fulfilled.
Okay. When is the last time you've had a child support review?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Have you filed a motion to request lowering your child support obligation?
When I spoke to Miss Gina, I believe it was last week, she mailed me the paperwork, and I just received that in the mail so that I can fill that out and submit that to the court.
And you intend to do that?
Yes, ma'am. I just need to get the money for the processing, for the filing fee. But I do have all that paperwork filled out at home.
Okay. So I take it that if you don't have the money to pay that filing fee, you don't have any money to pay for your child support today?
Today, no, ma'am.
Okay. When is the next payment that you believe you could make?
I believe I could make a $250 payment within 2 weeks, 2 Fridays. So by the end of the month, I can make $250. My first check would be, again, contingent on today's hearing. My first paycheck would be not this coming Monday, but the Monday after.
Okay. And you believe that you could make a payment by May 31st, which would be the last day of the month. It falls on a Friday?
Yes, ma'am. Of $250.
$250. Okay. And then do you believe at that time you could pay your monthly obligation of $500 at least until they possibly change your support obligation?
Yes, ma'am. Once I start working, I will have no problem in paying my full payment each month.
Okay. So can you tell the court what the reason is that you've not been working?
I've been not able to work. One, for my father. He was diagnosed with CMT, which is Charcot-Marie Tooth, which is a neuromuscular disease. He's almost 66 years old. They have a 125-acre farm. So I moved home beginning of last year, or right around spring of last year, to help them. They have a large yard, farm animals, all that. And I also hurt my shoulder, and I have labrum tears in the front head of my shoulder and a rotator cuff tear that I've been doing rehab for, but that is from the military. So I'm in the process of going through and getting my VA disability paperwork, exams, all that. So
have you filed for the disability yet?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay. But you've not been denied?
I've not been denied or approved yet. I'm still waiting.
Okay. Are they sending you for tests and
Yes, ma'am.
You're gathering paperwork that they need?
Yes, ma'am. I went to Fort Wayne on May 1st for a audiology for my hearing loss and a range of motion test for my knee, shoulder, hip, back, and neck.
And all of those are what you're indicating are injuries due to the military?
The knee and the shoulder is. The hip, back, and neck are what they call secondary injuries. It's just from over time. Since I've been out, they've compacted, and my legs are 1.5 inches difference now. And it's a presumptive secondary service-connected claim.
Okay, but you do believe that you'd still be able to work?
Yes, as a driver.
Okay, that would be the job as driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how much you would be making and how many hours you'd be working?
$15.75 an hour, and I was told 30 to 40 hours a week.
Okay, and at this time, how do you receive, or how do you get any money at all here for any jobs or for working with at your parents' farm or anything?
I help them out. They give me a place to stay, food in my belly, extra utilities. So okay. It's maybe $20 just to put a couple dollars in my pocket, but okay. It's a full-time job pretty much being there. So now I'll be hopefully getting this job starting today, this afternoon, hopefully, or tomorrow. And then also still helping them at the farm.
Okay, so you basically are hired in at this job already. You just have to get your driver's license?
I have to get the certificate to release my license and then go to the Secretary of State and pay my reinstatement fee. And then, yes, I will be working.
Okay. I think you indicated that you would be getting paid as a contract employee, so you would get a 1099. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you'll be making those payments on your own, and it won't be coming out of your paycheck, correct?
Correct.
But you do intend to make that payment on
Yes,
your
ma'am.
own? Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bartlett, you're able to get this job, and from what you said is going back to that other employer. Why haven't you sought that out before?
This was brought to my attention. I seen that they were looking. I was on Indeed, and I seen that they were looking for a driver, and I thought, with my shoulder and back, I can drive. So I applied, and then I found out about my license. So I went through the necessary steps and realized I had a ticket that hadn't been paid from, I do believe, 2016. And so I paid that off, and then they told me there was a hold from front of the court. So then I went down there, and that's when I found out about the 2 bench warrants for the $150 and the $600. So I'm trying to make the right steps. I know I've probably let it go longer than I should have. And I'm trying to make the right steps to get back on the right track and fulfill my obligation that I need to as an adult.
Okay. Prior to this position, looking into it through Indeed, had you looked at other, or I'd say sedentary positions previously?
I hadn't, because of my shoulder. I've been in rehab for the last 7 months for my shoulder to boost it back up to where I can actually, somewhat use it right now. But surgery is, from what the VA doctors told me, is imminent, which I am hoping to do this winter, save up enough money so I can still pay my support, and then have the surgery done this winter. And then I just help my parents out. My dad, like I said, my dad kind of took a bad turn last spring, and he's got braces on his legs, and his hands are all kind of closing up into like this. And my mom's a full-time nurse at the hospital, so she can't maintain. So I've been mowing and taking care of all their farm animals and trying to do the best I can to help them.
What's your education background, sir?
I completed high school, and I have 3 years of college, but I did not finish due to my son, or my son's mother, Kelly Brannon, getting pregnant. So I dropped out my last semester to get a full-time job and support her and him.
Anything else you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
No, sir.
Ms. Pendergraph, is there anything you would like me to be aware of?
I just would like to say that I've heard the stories for years and years about the shoulder, and there's always been excuses on getting a job, and this is nothing new to me. I've heard this for years, and I hope that he is trying to better himself so that he can be responsible, because he does have a responsibility. But I guess I'm just saying I've heard this so long, so I don't really know what else to say, except for my daughter hasn't seen him in years, and she's doing just fine. Like, we are okay. I don't really know what else to say. Enough is enough.
Okay. Nothing else, ma'am?
Just, no, that's all.
Okay. Court will make the following finding in this matter. The court's heard the testimony that Mr. Bartlett has testified that he's had issues with his shoulder and some problems, which he needs surgery through the VA. He also has noted that, again, he's only recently applied for VA disability, and in fact, had some testing on May 1st of this year, but again, although as Ms. Pendergraph states, he'd been complaining about the situation for years, he hadn't done anything to, again, to seek his disability in this particular matter. The court will note as well that he states until this recent position with had been offered through Indeed that, again, he hadn't done much of anything at that point to acquire employment. He has 3 years worth of college, but notwithstanding that, he's only thing he's doing and done for the last year is basically assisting his parents in running their farm, and that obviously that is a pretty physical labor in a lot of cases. As he said, he's mowing the yard, he's taking care of the animals, etc. But notwithstanding that, he's not sought out any other employment. Court will find that he's not made a good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed or refused to comply, and he is, and therefore in contempt of court. Anything, Ms. Hoffman?
I would just ask the court that any jail time the court would be considering be suspended at this time so that he can get his job, he can start working today. He did, or today or tomorrow, he did indicate that he does have this job lined up. I'm not sure exactly what happened with his license or if this court has suspended his license. If that's the case, I would ask the court to release the suspension on his license. If the issue was an unpaid ticket or something of that sort, then that's been paid apparently to what he testified earlier. So I'm not sure what he has to do to get his license back, but I would ask the court that if the court does have that hold to release it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may I? Front of the court did administratively suspend Mr. Bartlett's license, so he would just have to make arrangements to come in and pay the compliance certificate and or pay the clearance fee and get his compliance certificate to take out to Secretary of State. And I also would like to mention that we have received a letter from Party Time Events. The manager's name was Austin Renard, and he did state that they want to hire Mr. Bartlett, but he needs his license to drive.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, what I'm going to do, Mr. Bartlett, in this matter, first thing is I am note that you basically have a sizable arrearage with the two cases, almost $45,000. And obviously, so the court's taking that into consideration. In the one case, you have 2 findings of contempt, so the court could sentence you up to 90 days in this particular matter. The other case, they can sentence you up to 45 days. You've taken care of the bench warrant, so there is no credit that you're entitled to receive. What I'm going to do at this particular matter is I'm going to sentence you to 60 days with credit for no time served. The court is going to have you make a lump sum purge payment of $250 no later than May 31, 2024, 4:00 p.m. What that will do is you're making that payment that will keep you from serving the remaining jail sentence in this particular matter. But I want to have Ms. Mouton, I want to review this in approximately 90 days so we can see what you're doing after that particular lump sum payment. If you make the lump sum payment, so you don't serve the jail time, but you make no payments after that, I'll tell you, sir, be prepared to go to jail because you are going to, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Your Honor,
Yes.
is that $250 per docket or $125 per docket?
Well, it's not substantial. What I'll do is $250. I'll do $200 on the 2016 case and $50 on the 06 case for the total $250. And Ms. Pendergraph, thank you for coming and again, giving the court some insight as well. And hopefully with what we've done, hopefully you'll start working and start paying. If not, then we will be back in a short time and he will end up studying some time in jail.
Thank you so very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. You're free to go.
You too.
Hello.
Ms. Gamble, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
We're ready for your hearings.
Okay. Well, it looks like we have everybody here now. Ms. Gamble, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
And the court has appointed Ms. Huffman to represent you. Have you had sufficient opportunity to speak to Ms. Huffman in preparation for this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Huffman, are you ready to proceed?
I am, thank you.
Okay.
We'll start with the Sabrina Nolan Shatari Gamble case. It's docket 2017. In this case, Ms. Gamble is required to pay $374 current child support. The arrearages pursuant to guideline would be $103.65 plus fees for a total monthly obligation of $481.15. The last payment paid was December 28, 2023 through income withholding in the amount of $73.48. She did post a $100 bond that I'm asking be forfeited and applied to the arrearage. She's had one show cause. This is her first bench warrant, and there has been a finding of contempt. In the last 5 months, she should have paid a total of $2,505.75. She paid $121.14, left her short $2,384.61. The arrearage on this case is $5,181.84 through the month of April. Do you want me to go on to the next case?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. This one is Shatari Gamble versus Cosme Escamilla, docket 2021. In this case, she's ordered to pay $1,007 a month current child support. The arrearages pursuant to guideline would be $262 a month plus fees for a total monthly obligation of $1,272.50. The last payment she paid was through income withholding on December 28, 2023 in the amount of $197.83. She posted a $100 cash bond on this case that I am also asking be forfeited and applied to the arrearage. There's been the one show cause. This is her first bench warrant. She has had one finding of contempt. In the last 5 months, she should have paid a total of $6,462.50. She paid $326.14, leaving her short of compliance $6,136.36 in just the last 5 months. Her arrearage on this case is $13,115.49. Just for the record, well, she booked into the county jail on April 3rd and was released on the 5th, so she has credit for 2 days. Also, Shatari was court ordered into the LEAP program back in November of 2023, and she never attended.
Ms. Huffman, do you contest or dispute the statements made by Ms. Petrulio?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ms. Petrulio?
I just wanted to make sure that we did include that $326.14 payment on the form.
Yes, and it wasn't one payment, it was 2 different payments, and I forgot to include it. That's why I emailed you, but yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you very much. No further questions.
Okay. Any proofs, Ms. Huffman?
Yes, I would call Miss Gamble.
Okay.
Miss Gamble, are you currently working?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Why are you not working at this time?
I've been pursuing to start back the job I was at before my car accident in December. That was my last payment was in December. I was working. Then I got into a car accident, I got into a car accident and had fractured hip surgery, but my doctor didn't give me no restrictions, thank God. So I've been trying to pursue. The last job I was at is on a hiring freeze.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let me ask you. So you fractured your hip, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was in a car accident in December?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you had that car accident, you were working at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you lost your job due to that car accident?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you weren't able to work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you said the doctor didn't give you any work restrictions, but you weren't able to work. Is that correct?
No, they don't know. But about time, I have several visits, but obviously I wasn't going to work after I got out of jail. But from the last visit I had with them, he did not put me on any work restrictions. When they released me, I was under care for 90 days. So after they released me, they didn't put me on no restrictions.
Okay, so now you're not on any restrictions, right?
No, I was for 90 days though.
Okay. And did you say you had surgery on your hip?
Yeah, I had fractured hip surgery. I have a scar like about pretty long.
Did you have any other injuries in that accident?
No, just my hip.
Okay. So what if, so 90 days would have been March or beginning of April. You could have started working in the beginning of April. So this is May 15th. Why don't you have a job yet?
I've been pursuing. I've definitely been putting in several applications and also
Where have you put in applications?
I've put in applications at ILEX. They're on a hiring freeze. That's where I was at. At WSI, I applied for Tenneco. It's a couple other things, a couple of maintenance jobs through D&D. I had an interview with Express Employment Professionals before, but their jobs was out of the city. So they just keep me updated until they get something here. So
are you, so that's a temporary employment agency or placement agency? Okay.
Yeah, temp agency, yeah. I had a drug screen and all that through them and all that. So
okay.
That's my interview.
But Hilex was your old job and that's really where you would like to go back, but they're on a hiring freeze, is that correct?
I went wherever I could go, you know. I've been wherever I can fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was testimony earlier that you were court ordered into the LEAP program in November of 2023, but you never attended. What happened with that?
That must have been, well, when I spoke to, I don't know, I don't really recall that, but I'm definitely requesting that as of now because a friend of mine told me about it. And I'm like, well, I don't even remember that. I probably wasn't even in my right. If I passed that up by any chance, that was completely out of my own ignorance. I definitely needed that help because I had no idea. Definitely.
Okay. So you do want to do the LEAP program?
Absolutely.
And you'll get started on that as soon as you possibly can?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have quite a high monthly support obligation on at least one of the cases. It's $1,007, and then arrearages are $262. Have you considered filing a motion to adjust the support obligation?
Yeah, I went to court. Yes, I filed a motion and I went to court for that on the 23rd of April, and I'm set for an evidentiary hearing June 13th.
And do you know who that's with?
That's with my mom and
well, no, I mean, what, like, is it with a referee or?
The first one was with the referee, but then they set it for an evidentiary hearing. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have any money that you could pay right now?
I got $12 to my name.
And do you have any idea when you could make your next payment?
Possibly. I could definitely ask for some help so before this week is out.
You think you could have a payment before the end of the week?
I can ask my dad if he can loan me some money.
Okay. So today's Wednesday already. You think you could have some money by Friday?
How much?
I'm asking you, how much could you have?
Probably $50.
Okay, so you could make a $50 payment by Friday?
Yes.
And then hopefully by the next couple of weeks after that, you'd have your job and be able to start making payments again?
Lord's willing, I'm trying. And
Okay.
hopefully I'm supposed to be starting my college classes here soon, so if not,
So
I'll postpone
where
that to the fall. And try
where
to
are
do
your
something.
college classes?
KCC, I'm going back to school.
So you've already started KCC once?
10 years ago, I went to college.
Do your credits that you got from
Quiet, Marlon. Sorry, I'm sorry.
do your credits that you got from 10 years ago, are they still there's still credits that you can use now?
Yes, ma'am. I had a 3.7 when a 3.7 when I was attending. I just was going through a lot with having my baby and then being pregnant again. I just stopped going, so I was on suspension.
How many more credits do you need to graduate with whatever it was you were going for?
I'm not going for that. It's a whole nother field. So
okay, so what will you need to graduate for that?
Well, I have to go for 2 years to get my associates. So however many, I haven't really gotten that deep with it, with the credits and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Are you signed up right now to take classes for the next semester? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I've definitely registered and I'm just waiting for my appeal to go through.
But you intend to work during the time that you're going to school?
Yeah, possibly have to do second shift because my class is supposed to be set for the morning. But if they don't come, I probably have to take later classes and do first shift. So it's just like however everything plays out. But whatever comes first at this point, I'm gonna have to work around it.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Gamble, you said you had the accident in December 2023. Did you seek out any no-fault wage loss benefits?
Yes, through Sam Bernstein, I have an attorney.
Okay. And have those been paid?
No, I'm still it's a process. Definitely, I got my paperwork submitted and there's a couple other things I have to fax to them. So
well, there's two parts of no fault case. There's a wage loss that you should get regardless of the issue of fault. And then there's also a third party claim in this matter. So you're saying you're not getting any wage loss benefits in the interim?
None of that has started. I filed my case. It was in February.
Okay.
And I didn't have it was me having to get Medicaid and then trying to get on other people's insurance too. Yeah, it was just I'm new to all of this, so I'm just trying to definitely whatever steps I gotta take for that, however that plays out.
Anything else that you'd like me to be aware of?
I definitely am here trying to better my situation. Everything was based off of a job that I did have in March 2023, March 14th. I was working very hard and throughout the time I did get a little bit discouraged. And I've definitely been trying to do the things that I can. My kids, I'm just trying to be able to be there as the best I can for them. And it's unfortunate that I'm this far behind and I'm just playing catch up and I'm starting over. So yeah,
Thank you. Ms. Escamilla, anything you would like to say? Ma'am?
Marlon, come here.
Ms. Escamilla, anything else, anything you would like to say?
Oh, me?
Yeah, yes.
At this point, I don't even know because I just feel like I ain't gonna get no help from her, regardless of what she says or what she does. So I at this point, I just, because it's been over a long time. There's still quite a gap of area of where she was able to pay and didn't pay. And like I said, at this point, I just, whatever it takes to just get her to at least help out with something, because, right now I'm paying for school, I'm paying for everything out of pocket, and,
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nolan, anything you'd like to say?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, see, my whole situation with my daughter is sad. Go in there, please. I've been dealing with this since the little boy was a month old and the little girl was, what, 9.5, 10 months old. Providing for these kids stability. They're getting older now, and it's always excuses. You know, I shouldn't have to be responsible for the choices that she make in life. We had other options where she didn't have to pay the child support. She agreed to let me adopt the kids so we can get financial help. It's just me and the kids. They can't get in no programs. You know, I can't afford to do basketball. No, nothing for them. And I've been stressing this to her. You know, they're getting older. I need more help. You're not doing anything but causing chaos and excuses. And at this point, you know, I guess she was in a car accident. I get it, 100%. But before the accident, it was the same thing. Nothing has changed. We have excuses after excuses. And the last hearing that we had for child support, she did know about the heat because the lady explained that to her that she can get in that, and she agreed to get in it. You know, it's always excuses and after excuses, but she don't know that she has put me in such a financial burden situation. I'm on disability. I have to force myself to work to provide for these kids every day. I got to take them to school. They don't have bus transportation. I have to physically get up and take them and pick them up every single day, which requires gas. They got to have clothes. They're getting big. She don't understand this, what she has put on me. Due to me working all of them hours to provide for these kids, disability is taking payments out of my check for these kids, when all she had to do when her and Jerry agreed to let me adopt these kids so we wouldn't have to be in this situation. I'm in a position now to where it's just us. Me and my boyfriend is no longer together, so I don't have that extra income. And I can't keep having these excuses because I'm not in a position to have any excuses to why I can't do. When my babies ask me, can they go to the school carnival, and I can't pay $15.
Ma'am, you muted yourself.
We can't hear you, Sabrina.
I don't even understand, Your Honor, why I'm even going through this. I really don't. None of this. You know, I got to take food. They got to have snacks every day. I got to provide this. Food stamps only go so far because they're basing everything on my income. I get enough income to take care of me, but I don't have enough income to take care of all of these bills in this house and provide for them. So it's not fair that she get a pat on the back to have these kids and disregard my needs or her kids' needs. You know, it's a joke to her. And it's not funny. These are lives. These are babies' lives that we're talking about. She said she didn't want me to get the adoption. Now she take that. They go file these papers. I go to this court. All they had to do was to consent here. Then she go to say, well, the money going in your pocket. What do you mean? I'm taking care of your babies.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Marlon.
Well, in this matter, the court will make the following findings in this case that Ms. Gamble obviously was well aware of her support obligation.
Absolutely.
Again, she was in a car accident back in December, but the court notes in the one case that she owes over $5,000, the other case over $13,000, and those arrearages accrued much earlier than the car accident in this matter. Back in November of 2023, she was ordered into the LEAP program. She did not attend. As she states, she didn't recall that. Well, unfortunately, you may not recall it. You're still responsible for doing it when that's a sentence of the court in these particular matters. That she was injured in a car accident, it fractured her hip, had surgery. She was out of the doctor's care in March after the 90-day period. That after that time, she's identified that she had put in applications at about 6 different places. Well, somebody can put in 6 applications within an hour. It doesn't take you, 2 months to put in.
There was more applications than that.
Okay, well, that's what you testified to, ma'am. I'm just relying upon what you testified to.
Okay.
That she is going back to KCC, that she had attended previously, did not complete that, going into another program. The court will find that based upon her testimony, she's not made a good faith attempt at compliance. She's failed or refused to comply and is in contempt of court. With that, Ms. Huffman, anything before sentencing?
I would ask the court that since she has had some interviews, she does believe that she'll be able to get a job soon. She indicated she does want to go into the LEAP program. I believe that in order for her to get where she needs to go in life, that LEAP program is going to be very beneficial to her. And she's also talking about going to school. She's already applied and is ready to start the next semester. And those things are only going to better her life. I would ask the court to just consider all of those things when making its decision today.
Okay. Court will first forfeit the bonds previously posted in this matter. The court would order that Ms. Gamble would participate in the GEMS program. It is now it used to be the LEAP program. It's now GEMS. The court would, in this matter, I could sentence her up to 90 days in jail. I'm not going to do it that much. The court is going to sentence her to 30 days in jail with credit for 2 days served. The court is going to order that she would report to the sheriff's office no later than 4:00 p.m. on May 24th, 2024. That gives you about a week and a half to arrange things in this case. The court would allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $500 in each case. So that's $1,000 total. If you pay that by the May 24th date, then you would not go to jail. If not, then you report to the sheriff's department on the 24th before 4:00 p.m. to serve your sentence. If in fact you do not appear on that date, realize and recognize you could be sentenced to more days. You could be sentenced up to 90 days at this point. So that will be the sentence and the order of the court. And you're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Who has?
So this is going to be, actually, wait, there's one more thing we need to do. We'll be with you in just a moment, Mr. Lewis. There is another situation that Ms. Toth needs to bring to our attention.
Ms. who?
Ms. Toth.
Okay.
Do you want me to bring Mr. Davis in, Emily?
I guess we can. Just so your honor's aware, I did go on record requesting 2 bench warrants issued for him in both of his matters.
Yes. Yep.
He failed to appear, but it looks like now he's zoomed in. I have heard nothing from him. Obviously, he didn't have a chance to meet with the attorney, so I kind of wanted to know what you wanted to do with this one, your honor.
Okay. And he does want the attorney?
Yes, that's my understanding as of the last time he was before your honor.
Okay.
Well, he's not connected to the audio right now. His connection has been very unstable. He's been dropping in and out of Zoom.
Mr. Davis, can you hear me?
You should be able to hear us now, sir.
You're muted, sir. Unmute your device.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Davis, it's my understanding that you did want the attorney. So what the court's going to do is adjourn this matter to June 5th, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. And you can join at that time. You'll be able to meet with the attorney and then we will proceed. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Free to go today.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Now we can go to, what was his name?
Lewis, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses upon a first conviction. You could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Court advised you in this matter, you have a right to an attorney. The court would appoint an attorney to represent you should you desire an attorney. It's my understanding you wish to proceed without an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Are you doing so freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, used any undue influence, pressure, or promises to get you to appear without an attorney?
No, sir.
Okay. Court will find that Mr. Lewis does freely and voluntarily waive his right to an attorney. Ms. Toth, I'm going
Lewis
to have
of
you.
dockets number 2011-498 and docket number 2012. We're here today on both cases for a bench warrant hearing after Mr. Lewis failed to appear before referee Fryer in April of 2014. On docket number 2011-499 DP, this case is arrears only as the minor child has emancipated. Per guideline, Mr. Lewis should be paying $551 per month. That's the guideline amount of $547.50 for arrears plus $3.50 for service and processing fees. Last payment received on this docket was $60.67 on December 22nd, 2022. This is his first show cause. He's had one bench warrant and no previous contempt findings. Monitoring compliance for the last 6 months at the rate of $551 means he should have paid $3,306 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are currently at $38,377.56. Moving on to docket number 2012-3640DS, Mr. Lewis's total monthly obligation is $386. This comes from $255 for current support, the guideline amount of $127.50 per month towards arrears, and $3.50 for service and processing fees. His last payment received on this docket was $74.62 on December 22nd, 2022. This is his first show cause. He's had one bench warrant and no contempt findings, Monitoring compliance for the last 6 months at the rate of $386 means he should have paid $2,316 and he has paid nothing. Total arrears on this docket are currently at $43,299.39 through the month of May. Friend of the court would like your honor to be aware that these bench warrants were active for over 10 years and nothing was done to resolve them. Mr. Lewis did book into Calhoun County Jail on May 6, 2024 and has credit for 9 days served.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lewis, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Toff?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ms. Toff?
I don't think so.
Okay. What would you like to tell me, sir?
I would like to go home. I do have a job. I will make sure that this never happens again. Unfortunately, this is my fault and I apologize, but I do have a job. I just signed a 2-year lease. I do have a special needs brother at home that I take care of, and I'm willing to set up, I'll have my checks garnished. I make pretty good money.
And what do you make, sir?
I make $20 an hour. I work full time.
And where do you work at?
I'm a chef at Umani Ramen Restaurant.
And how long have you worked there?
I started the day I got in trouble, actually.
Well, when was that?
The 7th.
May 2nd?
May 7th.
7th, okay.
Yes, sir.
This year?
Yes. 10 days ago.
Okay.
So I would just like to go make payments. I understand.
Okay. Let me ask you, in the last year.
Yes.
Have you worked in the last year?
I have been home taking care of my special needs brother because my fiance works from home. She also just told me yesterday she was diagnosed with cancer. I don't know if that helps any. And I know the case with Heather Riddle. She is going to be coming in and dropping all the charges as soon as she gets back from vacation.
Well, that's fine. If she wants to do so, she'll do that, and I can clear up something so
Yes,
that
sir.
So that hopefully you can start making an attempt at payment, because quite frankly, you owe over $80,000, sir.
Understandable. And I'm asking for an opportunity to make this good. It is my fault, and I just would like to go to work and start paying my child support, and I'll pay whatever I have to. I understand the depth of this, and I apologize for wasting everybody's time. And it's time for me to be a man, and I just want to pay my child support and go home and pay my child support and take care of my business.
Have you, in the last year, have you sought out any employment?
I've DoorDash just to help. But I did realize it's time for me to get a real job, and that's exactly what I've done. And unfortunately, I'm in here, and I understand the circumstances, and I would just like to go home and start paying. I mean, if we can set up a payment plan or garnish my checks, I have absolutely zero problem with that.
Okay. What's your education background, sir?
I have a bachelor's in culinary.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
I think that's it. I mean, I think that's it. I was just hoping that I can go home and start paying my child support like I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, the court will make the following finding in this case that Mr. Lewis does owe in excess of $80,000. He had a bench warrant active for over 10 years in this matter, did not take care of it, that he had worked in the last year. He has not identified any jobs that he had sought out in this particular matter, notwithstanding the fact that he have a bachelor's degree in apparently culinary
Yes, sir.
arts of some sort, that in fact he's well educated to be able to acquire employment, hasn't done it, that he's stayed at home. He has taken care of his brother, as he stated, has some various needs, but notwithstanding that, he's not, again, he's not taking care of the children that he has in this particular matter. That his last payment was back in December of 2022. And as a result, the court will find that he's not made a good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed or refused to comply, and therefore he is in contempt of court. With that, anything before sentencing, sir?
What does that mean, if I may ask?
Well, I'm going to pronounce sentencing on what you have to do as far as jail time or whatever.
So there's no way that I can go home?
Unlikely, sir. I'm just giving you a chance at the allocution. So if there's anything you'd like to say.
I just asking for one more chance. I understand the depth of my of what I need to do, and I have no criminal past. I don't get into any trouble, and I would just like to go home and take care of my family. And I do take care of the kids. My kids are with me half week on and week off. So
okay.
And
well, in this matter, Mr. Lewis has stated he now understands the depth, but I'm thinking to get $80,000 in arrears, there's a lot of years that you didn't understand the depth of it in this particular.
I understand that.
So, well, the court could sentence you up to 45 days in jail in this particular case.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to sentence you to that extent, but the court does believe that a jail sentence is appropriate. What I'm going to do is sentence you to 30 days in jail with credit for 9 days served. The court is going to allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $500 in each case. If you do that, so the total of $1,000, then you would not have to serve the remaining time in jail. Do you have any questions, sir?
So yes, I would. So if I pay the $1,000, I can get out of here, is what you're saying?
That is correct.
Okay, I appreciate it. I am sorry for wasting everybody's time, because I will man up and do what I have to do.
Okay. Hopefully you do, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. I can go back.
Is that you're done now?
Yes, that's all from
I
me,
mean,
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Fields, this time.
Yes, I'm done with everything now, Your Honor.
I was looking at my next case.
You're good. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
You're still muted. Talk to you later.
There I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Fields, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand the charges, sir?
Yes, sir.
Court would advise you have a right to an attorney. The court would appoint an attorney to represent you should you desire an attorney. It's my understanding you wish to proceed without an attorney. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And are you doing so freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, used any undue influence or pressure or promises to get you to appear without an attorney?
No.
Court will find that Mr. Fields does freely and voluntarily waive his right to an attorney. Ms. Petrulia, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the case of Queenie Brown versus Richard Fields. It is docket 2018. Mr. Fields is before the court by way of a bench warrant after he failed to appear for a show cause hearing on April 1st of 2024. He has a current support obligation of $909 a month. The arrearages are to be paid pursuant to guideline, which currently is $240 a month plus fees, for a total monthly obligation of $1,152.50. The last payment paid was $2,318.31 on December 16th, 2023. There is no bond, as he did pay $400 to resolve the bench warrant. There have been 2 show causes, 1 bench warrant, no findings of contempt. In the last 10 months, he should have paid a total of $11,525. He paid $10,188.42, so it left him short $1,336.58. The arrearage through the month of April is $12,009.82. He has no prior jail sentences. The biggest thing with Mr. Fields is that he doesn't pay on a monthly basis. He makes lump sums here and there, and tries to play catch up. So, kids' needs are daily, not every couple months when he can pay.
Okay. Mr. Fields, do you dispute or contest any of the statements made by Ms. Petrulio?
No, I don't dispute that I owe it. No.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ms. Petrulio?
Not really.
Okay.
Do I explain anything or?
Yep, I'm going to give you that opportunity
Okay.
now. Tell me what you want to tell me, sir.
The same thing happened to me last year at this time. I had to have surgery, so I was off of work for a couple months from my neck. During that time, it basically piled up, and I was like right on the edge, just like I am now. So if anything was to happen at work or whatever, it would send me over. My boss is supposed to pay it. I don't know what happened, but I paid my child support the entire time that I worked there. Since December or since January or since the last time she got a payment, I haven't been working because he's going out of business, and I haven't been able to work because of my disability. But he has just a few different things for me left to work, and I'm getting a different job as we speak. But he sold part of the business. The business was I held grain to ethanol plants, and then when that work wasn't there, I would take the reefer trailer and go like to Florida, and so I would make gaps. So my yearly income went down for 10,000 last year to way down this year. So he's about done. I have about a week left of work with him, and then I'm starting with another company. So he was supposed to take the money out of my checks every week, and he was supposed to pay it, it was taken out of my check. He's the one that had to pay it. I had no idea what was going on or when he paid it. The only time I knew was when she would call me and say that she hasn't got a payment. And it was basically a miscommunication between the both of us as far as, when the work was going to end. And so, I mean, I've been unemployed I've worked a few weeks, so I've been able to pay a little bit, and that was the money that I paid for my bail. But I got the notice on the 3rd. I just didn't check the mail. But it was just I don't know what went wrong, but I worked there for almost 4 years, and I didn't have any problems except for if sometimes it would come to a halt, or I would be off for a couple weeks or something like that, and it would he wouldn't send the payment in for like 2 months, and then he'd send like 4,000 or 2,000, but I had nothing to do with that. So I did a little bit, but what I'm saying is I'm done with this company. So the reason why the payments were stagnant like that and make here and there was because of him. I didn't know that he wasn't making payments like exactly on time or whatever the schedule was, weekly, monthly. Joy has been in contact with my boss many times and talked to him on the phone. She doesn't believe me. So he has told her that we're not working and he's going out of business, and he would like it if she would call the courts and deal with it between the courts and me. And, she's been kind of harassing my boss a little bit. And it's but like I said, I don't know what the deal is, but it's over now. So the only thing I can do is move forward with this new company, and just, they're a bigger company. So I was the only employee there. So I don't know how it all got mixed up, but it got me behind. So, and also I'm a disabled veteran. So sometimes stuff comes up to where I have to take a little bit of time off work for, I have a degenerative spine disease. So, but other than that, just I'm just moving forward, and as we speak, I'm trying to get hired on to another trucking company so I can get all this taken care of and paid down, and I can make payments for like the last couple weeks that I work with this guy. Then I can make another payment, and then as soon as I get it with this company.
When do you get paid for these last couple of weeks that you work?
I worked last week, and then he owes me probably this Friday, and there's next week he's got like a few more loads for me to do, and he's selling the business to another farmer. So it's basically about $1,500 worth of work.
Okay.
And then I'm going with somebody else.
Okay.
So I should be starting that soon.
Okay. So you're gonna, let's say by next week, from what you said, May 24th, you should have $1,500.
Well, he owes me $750 right now, and then I'll have to wait another 2 weeks for him to pay me for that for the next week that I work. But about $750 he owes me at this moment.
Okay. And then the following week, how much would he owe you then?
It's about the same. It just depends on how many loads that he has for me.
Okay.
But pretty close.
So by the 31st is what you're saying, that you should have about 1,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell me, sir?
Nope, that's about it.
Okay. Ms. Brown, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, in this particular matter, the court does note that Mr. Fields has been making payments, although they've been sporadic. He states that it's a result of the place that he worked, and does appear that that has been the case. That in fact they've not paid him consistent as they would be required to do so. He said that basically that he has paid over the last, 6 months or so, over $10,000 in this matter, that he has an arrearage of just over $12,000 at this time, that again, the job is closing down. He's losing his employment in this particular matter, and that he's going to another employer in this particular case. What the court is going to do is find that, again, he was well aware of the support obligation in this matter, that he has failed to pay as ordered in this case. I will advise you, Mr. Fields, that you have a right to seek modification of support. If in fact it is too high in this particular matter, you can file that motion with the circuit court clerk's office, and you can do that at any time to seek to have your support obligation reviewed.
Okay.
What the court is going to do in this particular matter is court cannot fail to recognize that in fact you haven't paid as ordered. As a result, you are in contempt of court in this particular matter. Is there anything you'd like to say before sentencing, sir?
No.
Okay. What the court's going to do, I do note that you haven't been in contempt previously. I could sentence you up to 45 days. I'm not going to do that because of your payments and what you've made. I'm taking all that into consideration. What the court is going to do is I am going to sentence you to 14 days in jail with credit for no time served, but I'm going to allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $1,000 no later than June 5th, 2024. That's the next time that we would have these particular matters where the attorney would be present. But I'm going to suspend your jail sentence in that interim time, sir. So what happens, you don't have to serve the time, but you pay the $1,000 between now and then, which is basically 3 weeks, and then you wouldn't have to serve any time in jail. You understand?
Yeah. Yes. Is that going on my record?
On your record that you're in contempt?
Yes.
Yes, it goes on the record that there's a contempt fine. Correct.
Is that what kind of contempt charge? Is that misdemeanor or felony?
There's no, it's not a misdemeanor, it's just a contempt charge on this particular action, on the civil contempt.
Oh, I didn't know I could be put in jail for that. I got it. Okay, I understand.
Okay, so if you pay the $1,000 within 3 weeks, you don't go to jail.
And then what happens with that? I don't know. It's just a civil thing on my record. Is that what that is?
Well, no, if you don't pay it, then you have to serve the 14.
No,
days
I mean,
in jail.
if I pay it, does it go away?
Yes, it resolves it, so it's done.
Oh, right. Okay, no problem. That's fine.
So,
Okay.
Your Honor, just for clarification purposes, if he pays the $1,000 on or before June 5th, he doesn't have to show up in court.
Correct.
If he doesn't pay that money, then he is to show up in court and he can
Correct.
have an attorney, or he waived his
Well,
right.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to ask for it at that time.
Okay.
I will this time.
Okay. All right.
So presumably, and based upon what he said with the money coming in, that he would pay the purge amount, and then he wouldn't have to you wouldn't have to come in that time, and you wouldn't have any jail sentence, sir.
No problem. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, and Ms. Brown, thank you for coming, and you have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.